Okay, so we have our pages so far. So that's 1, and this is 2. And then I just need to think, yeah, this one is the outside. So we are gonna continue with this one. This was actually the first one. And then we had this one, I believed. Yep, this was the order. Alright, so I'm just gonna see a little bit what I have on my left right here to know a little bit what I can think of for here. Alright. Okay, let's get started. So I want again some flippable pages. So let me first cut this the same size. And we're gonna build up a few layers. So I think just a 1/2 inch. I do like on the inside, so I am gonna score a 1/2 inch and a 1/8 to give a little space at the bottom. All the dogs are now right here with me. Even the puppy is also laying here. They want some company. Alright, so we have our 1/8. Now the first page, so this is the first one. I also like to give this, let's say, a 1 inch. I'm just gonna eyeball this, a 1 inch short. I'm just gonna eyeball it, guys. Just cut this one. You can use this right away with another 1/2 inch. There we go. So I'm gonna place this as soon as I am ready. I'm gonna place that on here. And let's see how far this one, oh, that is nice. That's almost the same as this one, so that is perfect. So let's work first on this one. Okay, place this on top this piece. Go, a nice extra page, and then here we have the extra spot. The extra space to add some extra pictures, pockets maybe. Alright, so this is quite the same as we did earlier. Now I'm gonna do something on this. Actually, it's what did we did with the first page? I think we made a pocket out of that. This is also quite the same, and this is a nice big pocket. And let's see, with this one we did the waterfall, so let's see what we can do with this one. Let's grab a new page, and first of all, we need to score 1/2 inch alongside. Here we go. For now, I am gonna make the same size as this piece. I always can go shorter, but for now I am gonna make the same size. Then we go for the sides. There we go, and then we go the total lengths. Oh, the puppy really can make such wonderful noises when she's asleep. I love those noises. So cozy. Love it when they are around me. Alright, so we'll put some tape on. Are you already in the Christmas vibe? I'm just thinking, I did not hear just one Christmas music already. Well, it is late summer, so it's a little awkward to put some Christmas music on, but God, this paper screams on listening to cozy Christmas music. And I did not do that just yet. Okay, so we have the big pocket. And I go back in with my template again. Love it. To make a nice little notch. Let's see how... I don't want to go too deep. But I definitely also need to have a mark. Okay. Let's just make a mark here and 2 centimeters just to see that I am gonna stay straight with the cutting. So I don't want, oh, I'm just gonna make another one. Let's say, you definitely want to keep this straight, of course. You don't want to put all this effort in this cutting and then don't be straight. Okay. Now I can see what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna keep this maybe even a little shorter. Don't need to be that deep. And I guess now I am pretty straight. Oh. Here we go, and like I always say, guys, maybe you have beautiful dies. Maybe you have. And maybe you don't want to take all the trouble to cut things out like I do, but that is all up to you if you want this or not. I'm gonna keep going first with what I have, and this is what I have still left, so that's still beautiful. What was the was this one was the last one. Yep. All right, so that's pretty pink. But I also like to have the pink and the green coming back. Because we do have the pink on this side already, pretty much. But I like the combination of it all. Yeah, I still think that I like this one. Alright, so I'm gonna cut this with the white edge, and how deep? Well, at least 1.5 is a nice size. So I'm gonna cut mine piece 1.5, and then this one And then we can cut the nice shape. So that is my first step that I'm gonna do. Alright, put this behind. Nice equal, white edges, left and right. And we can cut it out. There we go. Okay, so this is my pocket. I already put something on the back. Alright, now we can still do something in front of here. You know me by now. So let's just, yes, create some small cute pockets. Just gonna see if I can use this leftover piece. And yes, I am gonna stay within this paper. Let's make another. So we're gonna make two little cute little pockets. Oh, this I did wrong. Alright, nothing wrong. I still can use this paper. Yep, sometimes I do that. I make a mark where I need it to score, but then I just cut. Okay. Yeah, where am I thinking with my head? Alright, let's create these little pockets, and it's up to you if you want to have a nice incision, a nice notch with this pocket, but yeah, I think it's quite enough with this large pocket. Otherwise it's too much in my opinion. But be my guest, guys. Maybe you even like to use a simple one. Maybe the one from your, if you have an envelope punch. I do love that notch. Absolutely. So if you have maybe a round punch, then you also can use that as a notch for these small pockets. Absolutely, just use whatever you like to use. Okay, we have these little guys. I first go see which papers I like to use. I like these two little pockets. Perfect. Okay, which papers do we like to use? Oh yeah, definitely some pink one. Definitely. I think even... Should we go for the light one? I'm actually a little ashamed that I need to use that large paper for that small piece right here. Oké, but yes, I do love it. Chica, je bent net buiten geweest. Wil je alweer buiten? Okay, wait just a sec. Okay guys, so far, what do you think? I like these little pockets, and I glue these down on some brown, and then of course the sparkle, and then on some white to still have a little booklet where you can write something small inside. I really like this. Then I decided, well, of course there is a blank tag in here which I still need to put something on, but I thought I have this left, and I thought this is maybe the finishing touch, so I'm just gonna go for it, guys. So I'm just gonna, as close as I can get to all edges. Then I'm just gonna apply this. I don't want to be interfering anything, so yes. Burnish this down, all the edges. And then what do you think, guys? I like it. I really think that this is the finishing touch. Cool. And that's only the front. We still have loads of things that we can do. Alright, so let's go to the inside. This one does not have some space. We do have that at the bottom. Here we do have place for just decorations. Yeah, I think that's a cool idea. We always can do that later. I now first go to the inside, so I am gonna apply this page to our page. Let's see, yeah, this was the one. Nicely on the edge, stay away a little. It's always better to stay a millimeter away from the edge. And there we go. Here we apply our page. Okay, so these I'm going to keep these plain for you to add pictures. And I am going to put design paper on here. And then we still have this 1/8 place where we can add, I think I'm going to add 2 more pages like we did at page 1. 2 square ones or 2 maybe 4x6 ones. So let's just see. Just some extra pages where you can add pictures. Okay, let's grab a new page. Still using, every time I still use a 120 gram for to make pages and pockets and everything. Just to save the bulk a little bit. I was testing that out with my Halloween project and I really like the turnout. So I'm just gonna split, no, I'm first gonna cut this the size I want. And like this one is not completely the same. Shall we, what if I stay away 2 millimeters away from the fold line. And what if I stay 1 inch away from the edge? Let's see how that looks. Always can change your mind. Then we're going to split this in 2. No idea what size it is. Let me first just fold this in 2. Then I'm just going to cut this in 2. I think this is a nice size. What is it? What size is it? For those who want to know, it's, let's say, an 8 3/4. It's a little larger, but let's say it's an 8 3/4. Alright, let's say, then we can use these 2. On here, and then it still has a nice flippable effect. We also can move this so you have the same amount here. Maybe I like that, the playful idea with that. So just add some tape. Let's add the first one. So stay away 2 millimeters away from your first fold line, not the one from the end of the 1/8, the one that's attached this page. Stay away 2 millimeters away from the edge. Now I'm just going to move a little bit till I see that I have a little the same amount of millimeters away from this edge. Alright, satisfied with that. Okay, now let's see where we can add the next one. Okay, the next one is going to be on the inside, but I'm just going to see if we want, yeah, absolutely, I do want the same amount staying away from the top. But this one, you also need to be at least 1 millimeter away from this fold line here. So it just comes a little forward, but that's okay. Here we go. So this flips nice open, and then this still, see, we have that one, you don't see. If I come closer, then you will definitely I can show you. If you see here, see, I just stayed away 1 millimeter away, so this flips nicer open. Then what you get is that this is also 1 millimeter larger. So do you want to cut that away? It is possible if you want, if you are just a precise person like I am. So yes, I am cutting that away. And if I do, see, now it's nice and straight. Perfect. And it's playful because you have opened the bottom and the top. So you definitely see right away at the beginning that there is something going on right here at the back. We have an extra page here, another extra page, and right here. So yes. And then here we have that 1/8. So you can, if you want, you can add a pocket on this one, or even a pocket, a nice big pocket on, yeah, I think that's a better idea. A nice big pocket on here. I think we got the space for that. No, this is a 160. I want to have a 120. So I'm gonna make a large pocket for here. I think you all know the drills by now, how to do that. 1/2 inch for the sides. And again, we're going to stay away 2 millimeters away from every fold line. Score and cut. And then we can do the bottom. And then how deep do we want to have this pocket? Well, it does not have to be. I definitely want to see what's inside. So let's see if, let's not make it a too deep one. A 4 inch I think will do. Or do you like to have that? That's maybe also a nice thing to do. I'm gonna cut this a 4.5, no, even a 5, so I can create the nice edge that we made earlier. Yes, okay. So I am gonna make my pocket ready. I'm gonna cut that nice edge again to bring that back once in a while. And just because I love it. Here we go. Yes, okay, let's cut this out. I'm always a little afraid that I don't be straight, so I just want to have some guidelines to see that I am straight. Yes, okay. Here we go. Okay, you know the drills. Find a nice piece of paper and cut it out. I am still having this completely left, and then a few bigger ones. I think we go, definitely want to use this as well. This is a nice light one and it comes back, so I'm going to use this one. Still using my second set. So I'm just going to keep going, doing that till I have nothing left. Alright, cutting this out, making the pocket nice, and I will see you in a second. Okay guys, so far I am. So this you already saw me decorating. These are just the leftover pieces that I still had. And I started actually with this one, and then this I turned it over, and then I started to use this paper with this piece. Then I started to do with this one. I continue it with a leftover piece right here. Decided to do the Sweet Christmas tag and decided to finish it up with 2 little strips right here. And then I still had some left to do this piece with a strip that I had in my stash, and also this little guy. So this is pure leftover piece. Then I decided to continuing with what I had still and to create just a little simple pocket, and then all these strips I had in my stash to create just an extra tuck spot. Then I did go to my third paper of set, and then I see that this paper, and that is the back of our memory game. I just call it the memory game sheet. So I did not use this just yet, so this was a nice opportunity to use this fully. I still did not add some on the back of these ones. I still can do that. I'm gonna decide which one after. This definitely needs some decorations. I don't know exactly what with what, but for example you can cut out this nice one and then you just glue that down. Oh my gosh, I love that idea. Or the snowball, or this. So this sheet of paper is definitely also a very good way to cut out pieces. Just use it all. But God, this I love. I definitely am gonna cut this out just because it can, just because I just came up with that. So you just can cut off little images, and then I'm just gonna go here and there with the largest pieces, and if there are small pieces that are not magnificent important, then I'm just gonna cut those off. And here we go. Can't make it any simpler. Smooch the edges a little bit. Always better. You can add this if you want on some glitter one to just lift that up a little bit. I think that's nice. So, but just to give you an idea. All right, so so far this page, I love it. I definitely like this one as well. Looks like a little piano. Yeah, my imagination goes wild. And then we have this page. Cool. Alright, see you next time. Time to cook my dinner. Could not resist on my last page of these 2 extra pages to make an incision. Can't resist. I just can't. I'm so sorry. You also can make that with the large one, but now I decided to do that with the small page. Could not resist. Always nice to add a little extra pockets and make these incisions, makes it easy going. Especially if you can use this at the end. I always love that. It's such a nice finishing touch, in my opinion. Alright, and then I'm just gonna glue this down. First, I always like to go all the way around first. Keep the bottom open, and then above the cutting line. And there you go. Put this on. White edges everywhere. Yes. Okay, cool. And then of course you can find a nice tag that you love to use. Big one, small one. Oh, I think one of these fits wonderful. I absolutely love that one. You also can make a mix with the green. But I think the pink one, this fits nicely. Alright, so decided if I want to have this on some brown or glitter. I think on some brown, just to have it a little mix up. Let's make a nice tag of this one. And I also can make it a little tiny bit higher if I want. If you have a leftover, then it's always nice to use that. Look at this small one. It is just tiny, too tiny. What's this one? This one works better, I guess. Alright, let's cut this the same size. Use a nice, if you have, corner. Still can decide if I want to have this a little lower. Can be a little tiny smaller. I think a 1 inch is wide enough. Alright, there we go. Switch the edges. Glue that on, and then you just need to cut that out, and then you have a nice, simple made tag. Here we go. top can go a little shorter. There you go. Simple as that. You can, if you want, to have it a little extra if you want. Cut a little hole in here. You can add a little, that was too high. Why did I not think of that sooner? Okay, yep. I made it too high. No! Yes, that looks ridiculous. All right, I'm just gonna use another one. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna use this one. I'm gonna use just on a brown piece. Not making a top. Gonna use that for another another piece. Oh, I also can use this on here. Nah, that looks ridiculous. I'm just going to use that somewhere else. Somewhere else. Alright, you get the picture. You get the picture. Oh, how stupid can it be? Okay, now it's finally done, but still need to do the white tags, of course, everywhere. But all the decorations pages are done. Yep, I'm just going to use this one. So that is done, same as the back, but also still need to do all the spots, and this I also need to do. And then big pocket here and a small pocket here. So yeah, loads of places that we're still gonna add stuff in here. Alright, this one is done. And then that is the first page that you will see after this one. So we have our first page with our flippable pages. Then we have this one, goes up with this closure, and then we have this swirl one with the few waterfall pages. And then this also flips to the left, so it's a very nice flippable album. And then this takes out, flips ups. Yep, and then we have this one, flips, flips, flips. And then we go to the back, and then we have this flip up and big pockets. And then, yes, then we have this side. So it's the equal one. And now we go to the back of this one. Alright. Okay guys, let's start our first step. I have something in mind, and it's been a while that I did it, so why not doing it again? So first of all, we are going to cut this the same size. Here we go. Then we are going to make a boom. Yeah, we're gonna make a 1/2 inch, plus we do need some space inside. So yeah, let's make a 1/4 extra. Let's do the same thing on the other side. 1/2 inch plus a 1/4 extra. Alright, let's fold that. Here we go. Let's fold the other side. Here we go. Alright, now we are going to make a middle mark. And that is for me a 338. Yep, that's on this side as well, a 338. Alright, so we are going to cut this piece a 3/3/8. And then of course on the other side as well, a 3/3/8. And with this one as well, a 3/3/8. Okay. Then we are going to create, I'm gonna see if I can use this. I think we can manage. No, it's gonna be lower. Oh, I'm gonna grab a new piece of paper. I'm just gonna use this one. Let's see. Bottom hinge and a side hinge. And this piece of paper was a 5. Let's score right away on the other side as well. I think we can make 2. So it's a 5 large, so at the end we're going to end up with a 4.5. Yes, that. We are going to put this on the side. I'm going to make a mark right here, and that's a 3/3/8 of course. Let's see, a 3/3/8. Yep, that's what it is. So let's fold this also, and we're gonna cut this as well, a 3/3/8. Okay, so we have a left page and a right page, and we have a right pocket and a left pocket. So let's put tape on these pockets and put that on here. So actually I'm gonna make a doorway of a closure, and it's gonna be a 1/4 space that we have created on the inside, and the meaning is that I'm gonna make a nice waterfall for the inside, because I think, well, not thinking, I always love to have a waterfall in an album. Gives you the opportunity to add loads of pictures in there on one page. So, and I do love to have a nice closure for a waterfall. And it's going to be also a surprise effect if you are doing a big closure for that. Alright, let's put that on here. Here we go. I did forget to cut this down. How stupid can I be? Alright, yes, we do need to cut this down. Well, maybe even, let's say a 3/4 here, and then 3/4 here. Is that possible? Can we then still put our tag inside? Yes, I think we can. I'm just now going to use my ruler as a bottom, so I still now can cut. Yep, here it is. Alright, so problem solved. Sorry guys. Alright, so a 3/4 here and a 3/4 on this side, and then we can just cut that off. Go, and now we can glue this on. Here we go. Okay, so that is the meaning. That this goes on the left and this on the right. And then we have a nice big pocket. Cool. We can decorate this first. Makes it yourself a little bit easier than working on this one. So I am going to decorate this. Let's see what kind of paper. I have my third set already in front of me. Let's see. With what do we want this? I want to have a dark and a light one. So, well, I do not have much dark ones, but let's go for... Oh, I did not use this that much. Definitely want to use it. Let's see with what... Let's do this with the... This is the beige, isn't it? Yep, it's beige. Well, maybe we can use front and back. Let's just see how that works out. So I would use, I think, this for the back and this for the front, or this for the front and this for the back. This, yeah. All right. Meaning, if you want to cut this shape that we just cut out, and first we need to cut down the full length. Okay, that's step one. Then we need to cut this full length. Yep. And then it's just a matter, put something on the back if you see it better, is just put this on so you see your ends. So here is my white end here, and I do see it here. So now we're just gonna cut this from mark to mark. And there you go. Yep, look at that, perfect. If you want to decorate this, then this is the time to do that. Maybe I want to have here something at the bottom with some ribbon. Let's check it out. Okay, and then this is done. And let's glue this in. One on the left. And one on the other side, of course. I just had the dogs out, but the puppy one did not want it to pee, so now she is moaning. She want to go out. Well, she had a chance. So, so she is so stubborn. I'm gonna try to teach her when the time is there, you need to pee, and not whenever you feel like it. No. Now she's here with me. I can't see that you can't see her, but here's a little paw. No, it's no time to huggle. It's no time to play. Nope. Anyway, so this is my big closure, and I think now I can use this one and maybe one more to have a nice big one behind it as well. So yeah, okay, let's go to the inside and let's make our big waterfall. Okay, now first of all, what I don't like to have this completely to the side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut a edge of a 3/4, then we're gonna get a little closer. Let's see if I have that edge. Yeah, even a 1 inch, a ½ inch is enough. A ½ inch here and a ½ inch here makes it, oh, here's a ½ inch. Then we have left, I want to do a 5.5. I think then we have a nice edge as well. So what if we do a 5.5? Let me first cut 5.5 this way, and then a 4.5. Then we have a nice big place for a photo. So let's grab a new page. So 5.5 wide by 4.5 makes this a 5. So 5.5 by 5, that's we need. So I cut right away 2 pieces, but we need more of course, but it's only for to decide how wide the side needs to be. So this is quite the middle. So how much? Yeah, it is a large ½ inch, and that's the same with this one. Yeah, I'm just gonna go a ½ inch, and I am gonna do that first because that's gonna be my guideline. So let's see, what paper do we like? A edge. I think I like to have this one. It's a very playful one. It's a beautiful one to have a nice edge. So ½ inch. I'm gonna cut down, and a ½ inch for the other side. Let's cut this the same size and smooch the edges and glue it on. And then we're going to decide how much of the waterfalls that we're gonna do. We can go completely to the bottom. But first I'm gonna do this piece. Alright, so I'm gonna stay away 1 or 2 millimeter away from the edge. And of course we need to be straight as possible. There we go. Just gonna keep an eye on my fold line, that I am keeping this straight. Alright, that's that. And now we can see how much that we want. See, this fits nicely in between. How much do we have left? So this is the first one, second one. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 we can make. You also can put these a little larger from each other if you want. You also can make a 3/4 from each other, but then you have to make this as well a 3/4 to make it more easy. So, but I will go for the 1/2 inch. So I am gonna make 7 pieces. I think that fits marvelous because we do have a 1/4, so we have plenty of time, space, time as well, but plenty of space. So I'm gonna make 7 of these. So they are 5.5 by 5, and then score 1/2 inch. So that we are gonna make 7 times. All right. I want to do something to have here on, so it flips nicer. And I was thinking to cut it out, because I think 4.5 is wide enough, so it only loses a 1/2 piece right here. Is that an option? You will think, Diane, what are you doing? Well, yeah, you know I love to do that, but maybe it's even easier to do if we cut the design paper a strip instead of cutting this white and then design paper on and then glue it on here. I think we can make it easier going. So yes. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find some strips first. What I have, let's say this little piece right here, it only needs to be the same size as this one. So that is the first thing that needs to be done. Then how wide? Let's say a 1 inch. That is also needed. Wait just a second. Let me first cut the wideness and then a 1 inch. So I'm first gonna do 1, and then you always can think, oh my gosh, Diane, I don't gonna do that. Then it's all up to you. All right. So I am gonna place this down in the middle. And then I'm just gonna redraw everything as that we are normal, used to this. For those who want to do this. All right. You can cut a few more, so you can cut these right away. That is possible. Just cut. Let's cut a few of the same pieces. Just a second. Let me cut this. And can we have another one out of our little stash? Oh, I still like to cut these out for making little stickers, but let's do 2, just to show you that it is possible. Put a little clamp on so it stays together, and then we're just going to cut this out. There we go. Okay, so you can cut, well, at least 3, I guess, and then you only need to erase 1 piece of your pencil mark. Alright, but then we're just going to apply the edges with ink. go. Let's grab one piece of your waterfall pages. And place this on. Oh, we do need some white edge, of course. Okay, punch this down. And then you only need to cut this one out with a white edge. But I know if people do not like to do this, then they also just can leave it straight. Of course, you don't need to do this. It's just an option. It's just an option. Alright, that is done. Place some tape on here. It does makes your pages so much nicer, and then if you're gonna put a few, then you will get like this. That is so cool. Alright, it takes a while, yes, I know that, but it looks so nice. So I'm gonna make all 7 of those, and I'll be back when I'm ready. Okay guys, I'm done. Not knowing about you, but I love it, I love it, I love it. So I'm just gonna flip this. I'm gonna start with this one. I ordered them in the order that I wanted. So let's grab the first one. Place this as straight as possible, nicely in the middle. And then burnish this down. Let's grab the next one. And I like to stay away 1 millimeter from the previous hinge, just so everything flips nice. And then this flips marvelous. And so on with all the others. Just take your time. And that is how we continuing everything. So every time I'm just gonna stay away 1 millimeter away from the previous one, the previous hinge. Here we go, 1 millimeter away. I still, oh my gosh, this is looking so fancy. Alright, yes, it is a little bit more time, but at the end, oh, you will be proud of yourself on how good it looks. So your Christmas photos will be looking amazing in this album. But you can of course use it for every occasion. So guys, here we are. What do you say? Oh my goodness. Oh yes, I love it. Absolutely stunning. So your pictures, yay, 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 looks nice. We can go for a nice bottom pocket as I normally would do, and I absolutely going to do that with the bottom. I am going to decorate the top, and I have already little pieces that goes on the inside just to finish it up. So that is what I'm gonna put as well on the inside. So just looking which ones I like to use. Here we go. Yeah, and this one is actually not needed, but alright, so yep, that we are going to do. So stay tuned. Not done, just not in a long time. Okay, guys, so my page. Alright, so I have cut out a few of these from the memory sheet, let's call it that, and I put it on some glitter, so I have nice little stickers at the bottom. Alright, so I added this mistake tag, baby it's cold outside. I made also a nice big booklet where you still can write something in that inside with using all the leftover pieces that I just had. Love to create that. Okay, so then we open this up. I kept the sides plain and simple just to pop this out really well. So do not put any dark or busy papers on the side. What I did with the top is the leftovers from cut out this piece I put on first, and then I added this green one, and then this is the same paper where this is on the back, so I had left this image, could not resist cutting it out and put it on the top. So I think it's just perfect. So that is my top, and then we go for the waterfall, of course. And yes, I did made a pocket at the bottom, pure and simple, and I added a nice booklet inside with this tag. So that is my waterfall page with window closure, let's call it that. So that is that nicely inside, and of course we had this one on this side, so that is the back of this one. So this comes on here. So guys, we have done 4 full pages. I must say I am very impressed on not that bulkiness with the 120 grams, but I need to check how deep, how wide these pages are. It's a small 2-inch, so we are still good to go. So we can still make the other 2. Alright, so see you next time. Bye bye.